Soul Tribe was popping. They tried to finesse me and scam me in Egypt, but I'm gonna share my story with you so this don't ever happen to you, fam. After traveling to Egypt, I know most of the time, if a local invites you someplace, they probably know the manager or the owner, they in cahoots. So if they start mentioning American prices for things that's just ridiculous, they probably trying to get you, fam. That's just a tip from Cool DMG. I did good avoiding the scams until this one came. So my homeboy invited me out to eat. I thought he was my homeboy, you feel me? We go out kicking it, good food, good vibes. The food is delicious in Egypt, worth the time, you feel me? This acquaintance, we gonna call him Quay. He starts to ask me, yo, did you go to the pyramids? Let's go to the pyramids, my friend. Now, dude was solid the whole trip, so I thought it'd be cool to go with him. So I'm like, bet for sure, let's get it. Told him I was gonna book a tour for us on Airbnb, only about $30 worth it, you guys. He insisted that we go with his private friend who could give me a better tour at a better price. So we pull up on his homie and he got the horses ready for me. So the entry price was 200 pounds for both of us to go in there and kick it. But I paid his friend 500 pounds right off the gate. That's equivalent to $20 USD. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. You would think that the pyramids is so sacred and beautiful, but it was nothing but scammers and possessive energy all around. So when I made it to the Big Mamba, I told everybody to get the away from me. I had to sit there in silence and be with myself. A lot of folks out there would try to convince you that they in charge of something, but if they ain't got a gun on their hip, respectfully, they not giving you no real guidance. And let me drop this tip on you. When you go to the pyramids, remember, this is a desert. There's going to be dust blowing all in your face. It might be a little funky, you know what I'm saying? Remember, you in a desert in Africa, so dress accordingly. And if somebody run up on you saying, can they take your picture for you? They want a tip. Somebody convince you, hey, you need to get on top of this horse or this camel. They gonna do their best to persuade you. But remember, the tip is implied at the end. They don't talk about that at the beginning. I had this one guy insist that I get on his camel. And then after I got down from the camel, he insisted that he got an American tip from me. Oh yeah, I tipped him. But on top of that tip, he wanted an American tip. He said people from America usually tip $100, $50, you know, bullshit like that.
What?
Honestly, if you book a pyramid tour on Airbnb, you won't have to deal with any of those extra fees or talking to nobody unnecessary. But I didn't do that. I wanted to kick it with the Slumdog Millionaires, the Giza Thugs. So we finally leaving and I asked Quay to spot me a couple $100 until we got back to the crib, you know, so I could properly tip his homeboy for showing me such a good time. We get back to the city and Quay and the driver outside beatboxing. So he come back and he like, yeah, it's gonna be 200. I'm like, cool. Give him the 200 pounds. They go back, chop it up again. He come back to the car. He's like, oh yeah, no, a different 200. My pockets was empty, so I told him to cover my tab until we got back to the crib. So later on that night, Quay pulled back up on me. We about to go to the disco vibe with some ladies. It's a vibe. And when I get in the car, Quay like, my friend said you got his 200 USD?
What?
200?
Bro, what are you talking?
Quay and Hubba Bubba was about to get the smoke, bro. I looked that man straight in his eyes and said, this car barely cost $200. You really about to try to play me like this? He began to tell me I gotta just work it out with his friend one-on-one because it's not really his business. Then when I said bet, pull up on him, he changes up the script and he goes, I thought you said you would pay him. You promised me you'd pay. I covered your tab. Boy, ain't no motherfucking way. There was definitely some other words exchanged, but I don't know how the guidelines work on this app. Long story short, I told him to stop the car and I walked home, man. I hate that he had to see the bulldog in me that night, but I just can't take it when my kindness is mistaken for weakness. So now when you go to Egypt, you can avoid all that finesse by just booking all of your tours on Airbnb. It's cheap, it's successful, and it's prepaid. And if you want more travel content, you know you got to smash the like and the sub. I got y'all. Peace to the gods. Back in that action with my soul tribe. DMG the Miller Thug.